Let's move on from these bad teams
Let's
and get
it.
to a good team, the New York Giants.
Whoa,
right?
baby. Yes,
When's
sir.
the last time you heard that?
I mean,
I know
2016.
you don't even believe that even right now.
Not totally.
You're the one on TV going, let's pump the brakes a little bit here. I know, a good record and everything. Let's not get ahead of our skis here. They won, though. They went to London. They beat Aaron Rodgers. They got those cheeseheads out there in London. Had to go all the way back across the pond, upset. This is impressive, and we're going to look at the defense here and how they kind of slowed down Aaron Rodgers. Didn't look like they were going to be able to do that early on in the game, but by the second half, they really were making it very, very difficult. What do we have here? Let's start with this.
Yeah,
you look at the defenders on defense here, and these names don't pop. These names are not popping. So we're looking here, if you're watching on YouTube or Peacock, some of the names of the defenders for the Giants here signed after August 31st. And they played a ton versus the Packers.
Yeah.
Fabian Moreau at corner played 52 snaps. Jalen Smith, who's kind of discarded, played 41 snaps. Nick McLeod, 26 snaps, had to come into the game.
Was great, too, coming in.
As a corner.
After Adoree Jackson got hurt.
That was interesting. I noted that here in your notes. What is he? I had some details on
Kid
McLeod.
from Notre Dame, right?
He went to NC State and then went to Notre Dame, second-year guy. First defensive snaps of the season. He really didn't play a whole lot last year either.
Yeah,
you liked him?
I did like him. I did. I got a chance to see him when he was at Notre Dame a little bit in person, and he's one of those Notre Dame, smart, has a little more physical ability than people gave him credit for in college, and they weren't afraid to put him in some man-to-man situations and see what he got. But he did a good job. He was very competitive, and really, other than one slant and go that Rodgers didn't throw, that would have been wide open towards the end of the football game. He really was very good in coverage throughout.
So what's working? What's working right now for the New York Giants defense?
Right. The New York Giants defense, I think the great thing they have more than anything is they are big up front, right? You've heard me say that this is 2-3 years in a row here to where they don't have to overexpose themselves as far as like, oh, we got to stop the run. They can lean on them a little bit. All right. I think that's the first thing I look at. And then they do a great job of, some of the things we talked about with Baltimore just there where, creating the illusion of complexity, great disguises, blitz a guy here, drop a guy back here. They break down of how they break down teams must be good because there's just too many plays too where, I go back into the old phase, like they rushed 5 and they're dropping in zone and the guys all drop to where Rodgers wants to throw the football in a true drop back situation. And they're very good at that. And, for the most part, don't give you a ton of opportunities to make big plays down the field. So even though they do some of this intricate, detailed stuff underneath, they kind of play it safe on the back end and don't let you have a lot of huge chunk plays or opportunities just go, oh, here's a play action post down the middle for, a 70-yard gain. They're tactical about when they take their chances, I guess is the big thing I would say more than not. Like the end of the game. They're going to throw it quick. It's Rodgers. I don't want him to sit back there all day and find and buy time and then throw a laser. Let's blitz him. Let's make him get the ball out of our hands and get our hands up and maybe tip a pass and stop the quick game like that instead of, oh, he doesn't like it and then buys time and then, ends up getting the touchdown anyways.
Their blitz rate leads the NFL, 47% blitz rate. So finding their spots, picking their spots, going after it, being aggressive.
Right. And it's not, the occasional all-outs, but it's good 5-man blitzes like I'm talking about where they're playing good sound zones behind it. I think that's the thing that, I look at more than not. It's not like it's Miami blitzes where we're like, whoa, it's all out. Everybody's at the line of scrimmage every time. This is a little bit more
controlled aggression.
We're going to bring 5 because I think you're going to slide the line this way, and we're faking you out to that side you're sliding to, and then those guys are going to drop out, and we're going to bring one guy around the edge, and it's a 5-man pressure, and one of them's free. Right? So they're very good at that. That's where Wink Martindale is a mastermind. And to me, one of the best defensive minds in the sport that way. Not only is he good at, hey, we're less than one guy in the secondary and we've blitzed, but we still can cover everything, but also exposing the actual protection plan. That's where he really, makes up for lack of talent here with the Giants defense.
Green Bay's running game really wasn't able to get going in this one.
Right.
You noticed something in the second half with the defensive tackles and where they were aligned and perhaps a shift in strategy there. What was that?
Yeah, well, because they were kind of playing like, bare front, 3 defensive tackles right on the 2 guards in the center.
Right.
And that sometimes lends to between the tackle and the tight end, there's lack of manpower there. So they were finding some nice runs off tackle, and the guard and tackle were getting to double team that guy over the guard, and the Giants couldn't get there to stop him on some of those runs. Well, second half, they moved those guys out a little bit. They played basically what I would call a 3 technique and a 2-eye, where there was no shade nose or nobody really inside the guards now. So it was hard to create that double team and win that gap we were talking about. That was certainly one big thing. But I think the biggest thing, more than anything, that really won the game, and we've talked about this with the Giants, and helped the defense out more than anything, is the offense. The offense, they play complementary football. And I know you and I have talked about this a lot, how, they know what they are, right? And their defense is making it happen with, great coaching and not letting up big plays and being a little opportunistic. And the offense is, we're not going to make a mistake. We're going to run the ball, high percentage passes, and we'll just look for our time to, here's our game plan splash play to kind of strike. Like Wink on the defense. We're just looking for our time, and then we'll send that crazy blitz and maybe make something happen. Until then, we'll be somewhat creative but conservative, a creative, conservative approach. And I think they have great complementary football going as far as that's concerned.
I think that's interesting because if they're playing like that, that's almost shortening the game.
Exactly.
And then the Packers offense plays in a similar way.
Exactly right. They do. And they shorten the game, right? To where it's this is my issue with the Packers. There's very little room for error. If you're going to play the dink and dunk style of football and play that way and not be aggressive always, well, you falter on 1 or 2 drives and all of a sudden, it's a game against the team we were controlling. And that's where my complaint is. And they're too good, in my opinion, to still be playing as conservative they are. And my issues with the offensive passing game, and Rodgers is still too conservative, and there's no natural aggression within the normal rhythm of the passing offense at all. It is dink and dunk and dink and dunk and dink and dunk, and then it's, they're playing us man on the outside, I'll throw a go route. And that's not good football. You're going to get away with it some weeks, but against some better defenses who are coached well and kind of know how to break you down, it's not going to get it done. And that's what I keep trying to say to everybody about Green Bay. I know they're still very good, but it's just a hard way to win and be dominant the way they play.
That's what Coach Magnet was asking you on Twitter.
Okay.
What the F happened to Green Bay's offensive game plan adjustments in the second half? Everyone is piling on the defense, but they can't hold the entire half when the O posts up a donut.
Yeah.
Emoji.
No, I know. Well, they go down at the end of the game, right? And don't get points there. They drive down the other time, what was that, late third quarter, and they're kind of on the fringe field goal territory, right? And I just want to make sure I got this right here. And I believe that's where they get a sack, right? Knock them out of field goal position, right? So that led to the Giants going down, I believe, and that might have been the drive that took the – so here, I got it right down. I wrote it down. They're fringe field goal territory. All right, so they're moving the ball. They run the ball for 2 yards on first down. Second down, it's a play-action pass. There's a 2-man route, right? It's all kind of covered. All right, so there's nothing there. And then third down, all right, that's when Dexter Lawrence gets a sack and knocks him out of field goal territory. But my point was the dink and dunk execute type of offense, one mess up and the drive's over. And that's their big problem. You have no room for error there. Offenses that are aggressive don't have this problem. Sometimes to throw it short, you got to have people running deep. And what they run into is everybody's running short. And then if that one guy, he pulls the ball for a set hut, because these are plays, as you played quarterback in high school, set hut, it's 1-2, boom, hit him, right? It's a quick throw, 1-2, boom, hit him. If that guy, that guy dropped out there, doubled him, 1-2, there is no 2-3-4 read in those type of plays. You know that. It's not like, 1-2, hit him, and then wait, the other side's running short routes too, and it's too late to throw the ball to them because now it's like they're out of spot and you haven't seen it clearly because they're all designed for, 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, throw it, right? So there's the other issue that they run into sometimes too when they go, oh, we think we got him here with our little cute short completion. Oh, wait, we don't have him, and now I have no options because I pulled the throw to that guy, and the line's expecting the ball to be out quick, and it leads to those issues. So it's all the same things you've heard me talk about with Green Bay.
So how would you explain the big plays with them? Because they do have some. They do have made some big plays.
Right.
They have hit some 20 or more yards down the field throws versus the Giants specifically even. And I think we have the passing chart from Week 5 for Aaron Rodgers. So they do have some bigger plays.
Right.
How would you make the distinction there?
Well, he hit Randall Cobb on a scramble play down the middle. Okay, where you just made an unbelievable human play, like by Aaron Rodgers. And again, he was running full speed at the line of scrimmage and like awkwardly threw a 20-yard laser over the middle, and Randall Cobb like turned around and ran for another 20-something yards.
For those who can't see the passing chart here, there is not a completion that traveled more than 20 yards down the field. So he had some attempts.
Right.
There are a couple there just inside of 20 yards.
And I believe he had Dobbs on a play-action crosser.
Yeah.
But
man, look at all those completions behind the line of scrimmage.
So
1,
that's
2,
what
3,
lends
4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
exactly.
9, 10.
That's what I mean. And then it's just
11.
It's just to me it's they're dropping the ball here. You got one of the greatest arms in football, and we're throwing the ball 4 yards a time. I mean,
half of his completions, maybe more than that, were either at the line of scrimmage, behind it, or a few yards in front of it.
39 completions attempts for 222. 25 completions for 222. Now they're going to get their explosive play, the 20-yard plus play, because everybody's trying to stop the dink and dunk and all of that. Again, even in the Buccaneers game, they had some explosive plays, but they were RPO throws where, okay, you got the Bucs overplaying the run. The guy caught it at 5 yards. Rodgers threw it right on the money and let him run, and they got a big run after the catch. But again, that to me is not like conducive to me sitting here going, whoa, they're a big play, explosive offense. Whoa. No, and it won't be able to be consistently available once they play some of these better defenses. So that's where they're really good. And then they have a guy like the New England game. Oh, okay, well, they're just going to play man-to-man. Oh, Dobbs runs straight. I'll just throw the perfect go route. Oh, you dropped it in the back of the end zone. So they're going to have some of those opportunities because teams are going to play like that because they're going to go, well, they're going to throw the 3-yard slant here, or they're going to do some sort of play here to throw it short. So they're fortunate to get some aggressive coverages. And then he's also very good at getting him in the right play. They have a great sense, too, of when to call screens and throw screens in that way, too. So that's another way where I throw it to Aaron Jones behind the line of scrimmage, and he runs for 30 yards, and we go, oh, it's an explosive play. Look, they're an explosive offense. And I want to go, no, that was just an explosive play. They're not an explosive offense. Now we're back to 2 yards per play and run and 2-yard throw, 2-yard throw. And that's not how great offenses that are really dangerous in the NFL work.
You know what I think? I think it's not sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
They are 3-2.
Yeah.
They are 3-2 with it. They got some kinks to work out, and who knows? Maybe it won't come together offensively for them this year. They'll have to rely on that defense, which was a talking point earlier in the year for them too. I don't know that the defense has been all that impressive for the Packers.
It hasn't been dominant. I think that's the big thing that's a little concerning there. It's good, but it's top 5. I think in the NFL right now, if I'm remembering right. Yeah, they're the 5th defense in football. They are. Now,
it's better than I would have thought.
Well, it's better than you would have thought, and they've been fortunate to play some offenses that we're not writing home about. Again, the Giants, we're not like, oh, hey, Mom, the Giants are explosive. Hey, Mom, the Patriots are explosive. Hey, Mom, the Bears are explosive. Okay? They played Tampa Bay without no Mike Evans and a beat-up offensive line, all right? And Chris Godwin not there either. So, they've been lucky as far as the offenses they had to play. I don't think they're really a top 5 defenses, I guess is what I'm saying.
But here's one of those where if you look at yards per play,
right,
as opposed to yards, because if they do shorten the game, then maybe it's fewer plays run by the other team.
Yeah.
Yards per play, they're middle of the pack, 14th in the NFL.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. They're not smothering
total.
that way.
Yeah.
They're not smothering. And teams do go on some long drives and eat up the clock on them. And therefore, that's where we get back into, well, Green Bay, you better execute the next drive and go down the field. And it's just, to me, it's too hard to play that way. It is. It's just, it is. And to me, the great offenses are, again, Mahomes and Allen, they're never just looking for the check down. It's always, let me absolutely obliterate you and chop your head off. And then if I can't do that, I'll just settle for chopping your finger off.
Okay, very graphic.
Thank you.
Very gruesome.
Yeah.
Ravens and Giants, that's coming up this week. Giants can go to 5-1 against Baltimore. So two defenses we've talked about so far. I mean, can the Giants contain Lamar Jackson? That's going to be a question.
That'll be a question. It will. Now, they're going to know their defense a little bit. That's going to be interesting.
Wink Martindale.
Wink's going to know how to defend it, and the Giants have size to be able to feel confident about stopping the run. But we know Lamar puts you in some binds and makes you play some defenses you don't want to play at times.
Yeah, who do you think has the advantage there? You got Wink's new team, the Giants, against his old team. They all know each other.
Yeah.
Lamar's going to know maybe how to attack that defense.
A little. I'm going to go with Wink, though. Wink's an outside-the-box thinker, too. He's capable of changing and self-scouting themselves and going, ooh, they might know I like to do that on that situation there. I won't do that, right? I'm going to go with him there. And then, the Ravens defense, I'm sure they'll look better this week, too, to help their statistical thing. This is not a great offense they're having to worry about. But, yeah, that's a, low-key, pretty damn good game that I'm actually excited to watch.
Right?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Who would have thought going into the year?
Thanks for watching, homies. Hit subscribe to see all my unbuttoned videos. You get to see me, Ahmed Fareed, all the big player breakdowns, game breakdowns, player interviews, and my film analysis. So please subscribe. Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Peace out.